Hello, it is Matt, or Matthew, or Mathieu. Welcome to another video. Welcome to my regenerative gamble. As could be said for the last year and a half of my life. See, I've spoken to a few times about perilous trials that I have went through. About how my mind was forsaken. It was broken. It was defeated. In continuous attempts at learning the truth about not only itself, but about the world around it, and what all that I was going through and I'm going through, what it means. Now, I am here taking a walk in the darkness, and I have just been told by my quote-unquote schizophrenia, please do turn around, Matt, as it is of critical importance to us. Critical importance, my mistake, to us. It very well might help you in your goals as well. Wink. There is so much I feel comfortable with sharing, but you know what I've realized after my last video where I proclaimed I have a psychic mind out in the wild, and people kind of liked it. The very few watched at us. That kind of plays into it too. What is the point in not simply sharing what your reality foretells? And what your reality personally, what yours personally foretells. Now, the reality of the matter is, my schizo is an unrealistic, abusive, narcissistic, psychopathic mechanism. Yet I believe very firmly that it is excessively sentient, and not only that, that it is composed of very real people in a very real situation. And I do not like it at all. What do I not like? Well, what is obsessions? What are obsessions? An obsession, to my mind, is a fixation that eventually goes away. Very rarely does an obsession last you days, if not weeks, if not months. Very frequently does it last a few hours at most. And this is it. The months are piling up, and the year is too. And still it is here. You want to know what the reality of the matter is? I think, from my personal perspective, that my schizophrenia is not what it really is, as I've already stated, but it goes a bit deeper than that. I want you to assume something for a second. What if we're universe? What if the stars? What if the galaxies? What if we're planet? What if all of it is through coded literature? Meaning people are the sole independent factor of everything. What if, in other words, we're living the truest lives we ever could live, yes, but we're doing it under a standpoint of a computerized basis. And then I want you to ask yourself this. When you delete a file on your computer, where does it go? I believe it goes in the recycle bin. And that even after you empty out your recycle bin, there still is the capability of bringing files back. I'm trying to make a point with all that. If we exist within a computerized basis, it is 100% guaranteed that we can be accessed after that. That's a fucking guarantee. In every way, shape, and form. If we exist within a computerized basis, we can be accessed and we can be summoned somewhere. Our planet is not interfered with. In fact, our planet is free within the rules and laws of its own metric. That is the whole truth. Our planet perhaps simply is. And now I'm just thinking to myself, oh. What set about my mental troubles in the first place? What really did? Because honestly, the truth is, to my mind, I don't know what is to be told. I don't know what is to be shared without seeming like absolute lunacy, but I've started to care less and less. So what if demons are really sitting up in there? And what if I really have deviously, but adeptly and accurately, and through my sole recourse, developed a system which, to say the least, obfuscates them, to say the least, hurts them, so that they get out of my head, and I am free to live, free to breathe, without worrying about my mental going down beyond what my schizo ever did to me. And I firmly believe that. That's through my humor, that's through my concentration, that's through my benevolence upon life, that's through my happiness, that's through my creativity. See, the truth is, I believe it is obsessed. Let's bring it back to the obsession comment. I believe it is obsessed for very simple reasons. It has a lot riding on its obsession. And now I'm starting to sound like a quack, like a crazy person. But what if it's all the truth? Because I want you to think to yourself one thing. A lot of people that have a vision of something that ends up being true, they don't share it. That's the first thing. A lot of people that have a vision of something that ends up being true that they share, it takes a long time for people to accept that notion. That's a commonly known logical thing. I don't know the actual name of it, sadly enough, but it is the truth. So, what does it mean? Well, an obsession could derive from many things, but a natural obsession, as I've stated, is very rarely under the month-by-month basis, which means that what I am speaking of right now is an obsession which derives from logical thinking under a presumptive basis, yes, but that does so from a completely different mindset than ours. And that is frightening. Whereas people were used to discussing things such as, oh, aliens, that's freaky. But what if they landed and they were very nice and kind to us? Which, by the way, I think has a 0% chance of happening. But what if they did? We'd never see them anyways. But that's not the point. Every life is meant to be held to its independent standard as to keep its story going. Every life is meant to be lived so that people understand its truth and people understand its reality. And then you can deviate from that and cause something spectacular or nothing at all. But there is something fascinating about deviating from reality, isn't there? about deviating from your set path. Because I believe everyone has that to a very big degree. Not to say that ambition should not be accounted for. In fact, it should be more than accounted for. Ambition can often lead to your set path being in motion. It is key in a very big way to finding success in life. Life has too much purpose. That's the point. Life has an infinite amount of purpose, only within its set metric. Now, I'm telling you all of this because I love you. There is a chance of something big happening in a few months, like in 6 months, like in a year, and it could change your lives forever. And I hope it does. That's all I'm willing to say about that, because I've already went through too many controversial things, because we're not the most open-minded society there is. Yet I say it very well, and I keep it under a hidden enough cloak that people could actually appreciate it, and people could actually still relate to it, you know? So, anyways, 11:30. I originally told myself I'm going to record a fake YouTube video that I won't post, just so I have the capability to speak. Because honestly, my voices have been on my fucking back. I cannot speak to them. They are non-existent to me. And they've put me under a rule set to prove it. Basically meaning that they follow a rule, or they follow rules that lead to a ruling. They follow the pathological mindset of a game, but not in the most devious sense, somewhat in a very devious sense, but somewhat not. The rules of law, the rules of engagement. And to be fair, I haven't been the purest in this endeavor myself. I really have not. So, where does this lead us? Well, to tell the truth, I'm not sure. I know one thing. I am who I am meant to be. I know one thing. They are who they are meant to be as well. A claustrophobic room with nothing but a chair and a laptop so that they can type to themselves, disconnect, and then leave my realm, which is my head, actually. And then they go back to doing their things. You know, if you think of the whole story as demons picked up a trace upon Earth, it kind of starts to make sense. Even though, like, from a normal, but it probably doesn't. It sounds like I'm writing science fiction. But I'm tired of saying it sounds like. In a way, I feel like I have to adhere to that standard, because that's what my conceived mind tells me to do. But I don't. I can just speak. There's nothing wrong with it. If you don't get accepted, then you don't get accepted. And, well, maybe never will be. See, the truth is, and I'm tired of saying the truth is, but I always say it. See, the truth is, I actually tried on 5 jeans today, and the whole 5 didn't fit me, and that felt kind of bad. That's a true story. That is actually a true story. And the 6th pair, was the pair I always wear. So, you know, maybe tell mom or dad up a few sizes, you know. What else? I found myself within the thinking that I want to go to a Caribbean venture, meaning a resort, or Montreal, or boat. Boat would be great. Maybe my last 2 trips, maybe not. probably are my last 2 trips. And, you know, I'm very excited for that. That's going to be amazing. I'm just trailing around now. Not going to show the company building, but, you know. Although there's people straight up vlogging, like, in stores, going there, pissing on the floor and shit. Nah, it ain't that bad, but, like, you know, like, well, it would be that bad in one instance or two or a few. But not, maybe not that bad. I'm thinking, like, what's the worst I've ever seen? There ain't a worst. We're a civilized society, generally. Very civilized. Generally, we're very civilized. I can't disagree with that. So, yeah. Shit. Now I've lost what to say. But I still feel like talking. You know, the ambivalence that I have upon some of the things I speak about is, well, it's founded from various different things. It's founded from the roots of our society itself. Like it's founded by some of the insecurities I could have built up around middle school, high school. Although I dearly miss those. I miss high school in a weird way. Not really middle school, because then everyone's too different. Everyone's too immature. But high school was kind of cool. Because then I was actually around other people, you know. Now I'm just kind of sheltered. And that sucks. But I live in a small community to a degree. Much less small than before, but still kind of small. I could make an effort to actually go out and meet people more, and I hope to. I hope something just clicks inside of me. And I managed to do that, you know. Beyond that, well, shit. I don't know. I guess I'm just a lone man in a fucking world that walls the fuck out, but doesn't at all, and I kind of wish it did. That's my hope speaking. I live in other words, kind of a boring place. Like, currently it's a group housing. And, you know, the people there, they're very nice and all. There's this one guy who sings, like, so whack, though, but that's the only annoyance of my day, is hearing him sing. And I'm like the only one who gets annoyed. Everyone else is like, I don't know if they're slipping each other fucking like earmuffs, or what is it, like when you block out sound, you know, and just slipping those in their ears. I don't know, but it just sounds so whack to me. But I ain't much better. I ain't much better though, you know, but yeah. Anyways. I think I'm gonna maybe buy alcohol tonight, but I don't know if it's a good idea. See, the truth is drugs kind of fuck with me way too hard, so that's not a good thing. And beyond that, well, yeah, it's just best to stay free from that for the next month, 2 months, 3 months. It depends on how things progress in my life itself. Anyways, all that to say, I'm gonna go. So, thank you. Seriously, thank you. You mean a lot to me because, oh my God, you're still listening. I always notice that, you know. I feel like some people, their mindset would be like, oh, it's normal that you're still listening. I think it's abnormal. If that makes sense. Because like most people, they wouldn't just sit and watch a 20-minute vlog of a guy talking about aliens and how we live in a computer for the most part. Before, yeah, deviating to more casual things in fairness. Maybe I could have switched that up, but you know. Anyways, thank you. Goodbye.